Hi everyone, it's Nicole Steele from the Joyful Stamper, the owner behind that. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. This is my third live today, celebrating the launch of Stampin' Up's Handmade For You mini catalog and their biggest promotion of the year, Saleabration. Saleabration goes for a nice long time, January through March. I'm so excited that you're here joining me either live or watching the replay. So I'm going to bring this up on my Facebook business page. Okay, I see myself. And hopefully this time, I'll turn down the volume. Hopefully this time, my device does not shut itself off. I had to switch to a different one because the storage was full on the other one, which was actually my oldest daughter's telephone. Listen to how 80s I sound. Her cell phone. Oh my. So any case, Saleabration, this, I already mailed out catalogs to my customers, but first of all, I apologize for my voice. I've been sick over the holidays and I'm just now getting my voice back. So I still sound a little raspy. I apologize for that. But my customers all should have their catalogs by now. But if you would like me to mail you a catalog package at no charge, just email me, Nicole@thejoyfulstamper.com, or you can go to my site, thejoyfulstamper.com, and click the tab that will allow you to fill out a catalog request form, and I'll get that and I can get it in the mail to you. But you can choose to have the new mini catalog and Saleabration catalog, or you can choose a catalog package where you have the annual catalog too. So just specify that on the form, and I will get these out to you because I'm happy to send them to you. They're absolutely gorgeous. In my 20 years of stamping with Stampin' Up, this is my favorite mini catalog. I love the colors. I love how bright it is. And if you come back tonight at 8 o'clock, I'm going to do a page-by-page catalog walkthrough of the mini and the Saleabration. I'm going to show you some of the things Stampin' Up did to make the experience even better, the samples that they've had, the stepped up features that they've added. There's a lot they poured into this mini catalog. And there's a lot of great offerings with Saleabration too. So come back at 8 o'clock tonight to my Facebook business page, The Joyful Stamper, and we'll walk through it step by step. You can make yourself a cup of tea, hot chocolate, whatever it is you like. Okay. The final suite that we are going to be using today is called Under My Umbrella. Now, I personally love a bundle that includes both the stamp set and the punch. Punches are easy. Punches are quick. You unlock them. You slide your paper in, line it up, and you punch. And that's all you have to do. You can buy the stamp set by itself. You can buy the punch by itself, or you can get them together at a 10% discount. Some people like fussy cutting. I know I do. I don't mind doing it, but when there's a punch available, I will go ahead and get that. But take a look at this set. Does this not say spring? I love the umbrella. I love the fact that I can stamp this on pattern paper and punch it out, or I can color it in. I love these flowers. Their open spaces appeal to me because I can go ahead and I can use my Stampin' Write markers with them, or I can go ahead and I can use a Stampin' Blends marker with them, which is alcohol ink. I love these boots. I don't know why, but I do. I love rain boots. I love rain. Today's a rainy day and I'm just in my element here. I love the fonts and the sentiments that are in this set. I send a lot of cards to housebound people in our church and in our neighborhood and community, and these sentiments will be perfect for that. Hello, sunshine. That would brighten their day. Showered with love. It's your day. I just love this set. And where you'll find it in your catalog is on page, I have it written down, page 42. And you'll be able to see the samples too in this catalog. Now, I loved this card so much, I actually went ahead and made a similar version of it, and I'll show you that at the end of my live. I scaled it up a little bit and made the space a little bit smaller, but I really love the different colors that the concept artist used to create her own background there, and then how she took, I'm guessing a pool party, Stampin' Blend marker and colored in around those flowers. It's a great look, great look. It reminds me of a rainy day, yeah. So you'll see in the catalog, Stampin' Up! Always highlights the stamp images where a punch works or where dies work. So in this case, with the punch going with this set, it shows you that the punch will punch out those 3 pieces there. So, okay, but we're going to get started. I'll put this aside, my catalog aside, make some space for stamping. I don't know about you, but I always seem to work myself into a little 1-foot square box whenever I am making something. Doesn't matter how big my desk space is, and I don't have that big of a desk to begin with, to tell you the truth. So, okay, so we're going to start with, it looks like a bunch of scraps here, but I promise you it's something. This is the card we're going to make today. This is the card we're going to make. And what I like about this is it uses a saleabration freebie. This is metallic baker's twine and sequins combo pack. I will open it up. And it's considered a level 1 celebration item, which means for every $50 you order, you can choose, this might be one of the items you choose. Level 1 items in the Saleabration catalog are ones you can get with every $50. Absolutely no limit whatsoever. So, Bermuda Bay, I'm slurring my words here. Bermuda Bay Twine. You can see it's Bermuda Bay Twine and it's Bermuda Bay metallic thread woven into it. Then we have So Saffron Twine, and it has a gold metallic thread woven into it. And then we've got these sequins, which I'm hoping I can get it close enough for you to see. But can you see how those sequins are striped? The colors are Calypso Coral, So Saffron, and Bermuda Bay, but look at those stripes on the sequins. That is so unique. It's not something I've seen before, and I am so excited to work with this. Sequins seem to be prevalent throughout this catalog. I know we played with faceted gems when I was working with the From My Heart suite this afternoon at 1 o'clock, and at 10 o'clock this morning when we were working with Peaceful Poppies, I used the sequins that went with that set too. So we're going to use those on this card. Let's get started. So I have a 4 1/4 by 11-inch piece of So Saffron cardstock, and I scored it down the middle at 5.5 inches. So I'm going to take my bone folder and get a nice crisp crease on it. Then I went ahead and I cut 2 pieces of Bird Ballad Designer Series paper. I thought the colorful stripes on here would go so nicely with a spring theme. Let me click through these comments here. Okay. And I liked the colors of them. So I'm going to go ahead and glue those on with some Tombow liquid glue. Now, a secret for getting these flush to the edge of your card is to lay it on there and then give your card a tap in all directions so that you can get it to line up with the edge of your cardstock. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. If I go out of screen and I'm not paying attention, just leave me a comment and let me know. Because sometimes I get so into stamping, I forget to check what I'm looking at to make sure that I'm still in view. Plus there's a delay between what I'm doing and what is showing up on Facebook. Okay, so I've glued that on. And now what I'm going to do is do the stamping. I like to do all my stamping at one time, and that way I can just assemble everything at the very end. So we have a scrap piece of Bermuda Bay, we have a scrap piece of So Saffron, and then these 2 pieces here I cut from a new set of dies called Stitched So Sweetly. I showed those in my 1 o'clock Facebook Live, and I believe I actually put those framelits away. But what they are is a set of stitched scallops, rectangles. I can pull them up in the catalog, perhaps, and you can see them. But there's also some labels in there, too, that you can die cut out. And here they are. If you can see the shapes here. There's the stitched scalloped rectangles. They nest inside of each other. And then there's 4 dies that cut out some frames. It was so cute. It does have this coordinating set here, so sentimental. And these sentiments are meant to fit inside of those. I did not get this set. I thought these dies were so versatile that I didn't feel like I had to purchase the set, but if you wanted all those sentiments, you certainly could go ahead and get them and bundle them together. But I just got the dies because of their versatility. There's a lot of sentiments you can fit inside of those. And just like their name, they are stitched so sweetly. So we're going to use those. Let me get my stamps. We're going to start by stamping some rain on this Whisper White piece of cardstock, and we are going to use Pool Party ink to do so. And how appropriate, because it is a rainy day here in Pittsburgh. And we're just going to go down this card, not all the way to the bottom, just about halfway. I think that's good enough. Maybe some more drops up there. Okay. Then the next thing I'm going to do is stamp the sentiment. I want to make sure that I don't glue my umbrella and boots over top of it. So I'm going to do rain or shine, you're always on my mind. Where's it at? There it is. Sometimes I like to use more, what you call them, generic sentiments, because when I need a card for something, it gives me more options. I don't always make a card with a specific person or event in mind. I usually just go with whatever I feel like making. So I'm going to ink this up in Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and I'm going to stamp it towards the top. And I got to stand up to make sure I stamp this straight. Okay, there we go. Looking good so far. I'll leave that here because I know I'm going to need that black ink. Okay, and the next thing I need to do is stamp my umbrella and my boots. So let's throw those on a couple blocks. And those are going to get stamped on a piece of Bermuda Bay cardstock. There we go. And again, we're going to use Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And we're going to stamp this umbrella. This is the smaller umbrella. We're going to stamp it right. I'm going to look at my punch because I want to see the best way to stamp it for how I'm going to punch it. So, okay. I'm going to stamp it this way. There we go. And then I'm going to stamp this pair of boots. Now the boots are going to get fussy cut, but look at how easy that is. I mean, they're a very simple shape, so we won't have any trouble doing that. Now, one fun touch that I wanted to give to this was to put a flower pattern on my umbrella and on the boots. So I took this flower image right here and I stuck it on a smaller block, and I'm going to use Bermuda Bay ink to stamp a flower pattern on this. And you do not have to be careful to stay inside the lines because the umbrella is going to get punched out and the boots are going to get cut out. So we are going to cut away any excess flower that stamps outside of these lines. There we go. Have you ever seen those rain boots? I like Boggs. I'm partial to the brand Boggs. They come in a lot of fun patterns. Plaids, checks, buffalo check. A lot of colors too. I needed a pair because of cross country. So, okay. Oops, I can see what's going to happen already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip away these boots first. I don't want my punch to punch those boots out. Okay, so just to easily line this up, just put your paper into the punch, line it up, and give it a squeeze, and it'll pop right out. Now the umbrella handle punched out, but I don't need it in Bermuda Bay. I'm going to do it in a different color. So I can set these pieces aside. And we have that. And now I'm going to cut these boots out. And again, paper snips come in handy for this because they are small, so you can navigate these tight turns in small spaces, and they're sharp all the way to the tip. So yeah, these boots, they are not a problem to cut out at all. There we go. Lay that aside. So we have those. And then I'm going to punch out an umbrella handle in So Saffron cardstock. There we go. Now be sure to save all your scraps too, because those are the things I reach for first when I make a project. I have my cardstock sorted in rainbow fashion, and I have a page protector with each color. So each Stampin' Up! Color has its own page protector, and that's where I keep all my paper scraps. And that way, when I go to sit down to make a project, I know to always look through my scraps first to see if I have something that works. And I can tell you, I do not get overrun with scraps at all. I always find a way to use them, it seems, and I rarely have to cut into a full sheet of cardstock unless I'm using it as a card base. All right, next we are going to take the So Saffron twine from that Saleabration item. And remember, this is a free item. This whole package here is a free item when you spend $50. So if you get some cardstock, get some adhesive, envelopes, and then the Under My Umbrella bundle with the stamp set and punch, you could add this on as your free item, and you could make this card that we're making right now. Now this twine I doubled up to tie around my card. So I'm going to unspool some, and I'm going to double it up like this, and I'm going to wrap it around my card. I don't really know exactly how much I'm using here. I'm just guessing. I'm wrapping it around, estimating how much I think I'm going to need. I'll just cut off the excess. I always like to give myself a little bit more than I think I'm going to need. Now it's a little bit harder to adjust this twine after you tie it because of the scallops around this this mat. So you might want to try to get it right where you want it before you tie it. It's not impossible to adjust it, just a little trickier over the scallops because it's so bumpy. All right, and then I'm going to adjust it and trim that to give it double tails. Let's see, where's the other end of this? I'm going to pull this loop a little smaller. Okay, and then I'll trim these tails a little bit too. Okay, there we go. Looking cute. Very, very cute. All right, and of course, we're going to put dimensionals on the umbrella and the boots. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and type them in, no matter if you're watching it live or if you're watching the replay, because I will go back and look to see if there are any questions so that I can be sure to answer them. And I'm going to stick the boots on, and I'm going to stick the umbrella on. There we go. And this little umbrella handle, again, fine tip glue to the rescue. Okay. Make sure you put glue on the right side. You check which way you want your umbrella handle to go, and then just run a small line of glue there. And then you can go ahead and tuck the umbrella in there. Press it down for a second or two so it gives it time to adhere. And there you go. And you always want to put your cap back on, the fine tip glue, so that it doesn't dry out while you're doing other things. It's really easy to forget. And then when you go to use it again, it is all dried up. So we're going to bring our card base back into this, and we're going to put dimensionals on the back of this piece. And I'll put one in each corner, and I'm going to put one in the center. I really want to make sure that my card does not sag, especially when it goes through the Postal Service. I saw a video once of how the Postal Service sorts mail. It goes at such a high rate of speed, and it really does go through rollers, and I see now why they need what's in the envelope to be flexible and able to bend, because it gets twisted and contorted into all kinds of shapes as it gets sorted. Okay, now all we have to do is add some of these really fun sequins. And again, more fine tip glue. All right, and I'm going to use a Calypso Coral one up here. You could leave these off, but Why would you? They're just way, way, way too fun. Okay. Whoop. I don't really want it covering my sentiment there. There we go. And we'll put another one on down here. All right. Oh, I think I may need to grab my water. Excuse me. I feel a little coughing attack coming on. Excuse me. All right. And that is our card number 1 with the Under My Umbrella set. Isn't that cute? Did you do anything on the inside? No, I did not. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I need more water. I even drank a huge mug of tea right before I went live. All right, card number 1. All right, now we're going to start card number 2. This is card number 2. This one is super bright. Super, super bright. And you can see how I used pattern paper here to stamp the bigger umbrella on and punched it out with that umbrella punch. It's a great way to make fun patterns. And I don't know if you can see, I also used some clear heart epoxy drops to stick onto the umbrella. This is the pack of them. And there's little hearts, and they go all the way up to medium and bigger and largest. You get a lot in this pack. And I like that they're clear. It reminded me of wet raindrops. So we're going to start with a 5.5 by 8.5 piece of blueberry bushel cardstock, and it's scored down the middle at 5.5 inches, or 4.25 inches, I'm sorry. And we'll use a bone folder to give that a good crease. And we're going this way. Okay, and we are going to pull out our supplies. We're going to use some lovely lipstick, grove grain ribbon. This is actually in the annual catalog, the big catalog. It is one of our in colors, and I believe this color is actually retiring at the end of May. So it's about at the end of its lifespan. I have some Happiness Blooms enamel dots here that we're going to add to our card, along with those epoxy hearts. And the paper that I used for these umbrellas is coming from the 2018-2020 in color 6x6 inch designer series paper pack. You get 48 sheets. And what's great is if you have to make multiples, or you like to make multiples, they feature many pieces of the same pattern. And they come in the 5 in colors that we have for 2018 through 2020. So lovely lipstick, grapefruit grove, blueberry bushel, pineapple punch, and Call Me Clover. I can't remember the green color. Yes, Call Me Clover. Oh, I had a little memory lapse there. A lot to remember today. All right, we'll pull out our other pieces. And we're going to start, again, with our stamping. We are going to stamp on a piece of lovely lipstick, designer series paper from that paper pack I just showed you, and on the blueberry bushel piece, also from that same pack. I'm going to switch out my stamps. Instead of using the smaller umbrella, I'm going to use the bigger one. Here we go. And we're going to use Memento Black ink to stamp this umbrella. Ink it up well. Make sure to frequently re-ink your ink pads. You'll get a much nicer, crisper image. And you won't have to re-stamp and potentially waste some of your favorite paper. I know, especially with the designer series paper, how hard it is for some people to just even cut into it and use it, let alone have to throw it out because they didn't get a good clear image because their ink pads were dry. So I'm just going to slide this in, and I'm going to only stamp that larger umbrella there at the top. Let me make sure I line it up good. Okay. There's the blueberry bushel one. And we're going to punch out the lovely lipstick one. I'll make sure I got that right. There we go. Okay, so we have these two umbrellas now, and now we need the umbrella handles. And for that, I'm going to use a scrap piece of basic black cardstock, and I'm just going to punch out the umbrella handle. There's handle number 1, handle number 2. Set that aside. Get these scraps out of the way. Okay, and now we have our label, and I'm looking for it. There it is. I took a piece of the pineapple punch pattern paper from that paper stack, and I used a label die from the Stitch So Sweetly dies to cut this out. That is the same die set that I used on the card we just did, and only I cut out stitched rectangle dies for that one. This time I used the label, and I'm going to use Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and I'm going to stamp Hello Sunshine on there. Switch out blocks. And that is right. I'm doing this up and down. I'm going to stamp Hello Sunshine, and I'm going to go more towards the top of this because that's not all I'm putting on here. I'm also going to stamp It's Your Day right below it. And that way you can use it as a congratulatory note, you can use it as a birthday card, or you could just tell someone, hey, it's your day, go get them. There we go. All right, we have all our stamping done, so now it's time to assemble the card. Bring back the blueberry bushel base. Excuse me. This is another piece of Pineapple Punch Designer Series paper from that stack, and it is the exact same one that I used to stamp this sentiment on. I just, I don't know. I kind of like the way that this label isn't very, very noticeable. It's more subtle because I kept it to the same color and the same pattern as the background. This gets glued on with liquid glue. We're going to glue it flat, a little towards the center of the card. And I'm going to give my card a tap to make sure it's flush on both sides. Okay. And now, lots of dimensionals coming up on the back of each umbrella and on the back of our sentiment label. And I put 2 dimensionals on the umbrellas. And I'm going to put 2 on the back of this sentiment label. Peel off the liners. If you ever have trouble peeling these liners off, just use your thumbnail to push down in the center, and it'll pop up the edges enough that you can grab them and pull them off. There we go. We got all that, and now we're going to lay this all out on our card. So first I have the blueberry bushel umbrella, and then I'm going to put down the lovely lipstick umbrella, and then I've got the Hello Sunshine label. Did I put that on there straight? Yeah, straight enough. Okay, before I glue these little handles on, I'm going to go ahead and wrap my card in this lovely lipstick grosgrain ribbon. And I didn't just tie a bow and glue it on there. I actually wrapped it around my card and tied a bow. Now, if it's just you stamping at home, you can use your ribbon without cutting it off the spool first. It's a good way to save your ribbon. That way you don't have to potentially overestimate how much ribbon you need, and then you end up having to throw a bunch of it out when you go to trim it. So just leave it on your spool while you tie it, and then you can go ahead and trim it, and you'll save a lot that way. Okay. And then after you've tied it, you can just adjust it to where you want it to be. Now I'm going to go ahead and use fine tip glue to glue those umbrella handles on. So yeah, I guess the moral of all this is if you're going to buy this set or any of the sets I featured today, I used fine tip glue in all of them, whether it was for the sequins or little things like these umbrella handles. So make sure you add a bottle of this to your order so that you're able to glue all these things on. Oh, and I can already see one thing I did forget to do to my card. I stamped a background on the blueberry bushel card base. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to stamp it just along the bottom and the top too. I'll stamp it around the elements I already have on my card. And I used a little flower. I used this one right here. All right, we'll put that on a block. And I'm looking to see what color I used. I used blueberry bushel. I actually do not have a blueberry bushel ink pad, so what I did is used my blueberry bushel marker and gave it a color. And you can go ahead and just stamp it on there like that. Use the brush tip end to do this. You know, this looks just as cute doing it this way as it was covering the entire card base, I think. I like this. That looks really cute. All right, and should we do the top? I think not. I think I'm going to leave the top unstamped. I like that the way it is. Oh my gosh, this is cute. Then we got to add our enamel dots and our epoxy hearts. I love details on my card. I also like layers too. But for the purposes of today's projects, I thought, why am I having trouble finding where to open this? For the purposes of today's demonstrations, I thought it was best to have minimal layers. So, okay, we are going to add a couple heart. I went for the medium ones. And I'm going to add one there, and I'm going to add one there. And if I hold and tilt them, maybe you can see them shine. In person, you can definitely see them. Definitely see them. Okay, and then I'm going to add some of these Happiness Blooms enamel dots. Now, both of those epoxy hearts and the Happiness Blooms enamel dots are found in the annual catalog. So there's a lot of great stuff still in the annual catalog. That's not to be forgotten, which a lot of times it is when these mini catalogs come out and the holiday catalog comes out. Now, I'm going to use, these are actually Night of Navy enamel dots, but I'm going to use them anyways because you know what? They look good. There we go. Okay, now in my original card, because of the dark color of the card base, I did cut an insert out of Whisper White to put inside here, and I used a lovely lipstick ink to ink up the flowers to decorate it a little bit. But I forgot to cut a piece, so I'll have to add this one later. But this is the second project using the Under My Umbrella suite. So isn't that cute? Oh, I love it. Now, I have a bonus third card that I created using this. And this is the one that I said earlier that I had cased from the catalog. This, I created the same background. I stamped it in Calypso Coral, Pool Party, and Bermuda Bay. And then I took a dark Pool Party Stampin' Blends marker. And remember, those are the ones that are filled with alcohol ink. And I colored in with the bullet or the brush tip around it. And if you can see, there are white spots. I wasn't real precise or real careful with this. I just went ahead and did it. And I matted it onto a piece of Bermuda Bay cardstock. This time for my umbrella, I just stamped it on a piece of Calypso Coral cardstock. And this umbrella handle, there is a stamp where you can stamp the handle itself and then still punch it out. That's on basic gray cardstock. I have a rainy background. I used the sprinkles from that and the twine from that Saleabration freebie pack there that you get with a $50 order to tie around this card. And that was my catalog case. This label here is from the Stitched Nested Labels die. And I die cut one out with Whisper White, cut it on, put it on there, and I cut off the excess on the edge of my cardstock there. So I'll show you, I'll bring out all three projects again. If I can find the first one I did. I don't know where I put it. Okay. Oh, I don't know. Oh, here it is. Isn't it funny how things have a way of disappearing whenever you're creating? We get so into what we're doing. So those are the 3 projects. Are they in the camera? Yeah. Okay. Now, I have a couple housekeeping things to go over. Ordering specials. Any size order whatsoever. I'm sorry, my dog is barking. Any size order from now until Monday, January 6th at midnight, I will send you a mega tutorial of all 9 projects that I showed you today. And if you order $50, not only will you get the tutorial, but you'll also get to pick a level 1 celebration item. Excuse me for a minute. I gotta close my door. A level 1 celebration item, and then with a $75 purchase, you can get the tutorial, a level 1 celebration item, and I have a 4x6 inch designer series paper sampler pack. The Country Club paper from the mini catalog and the lily pad impressions. So I'll send you that for free with a $75 order. Just go to shopwithnicole.stampinup.net and place your order by Monday, January 6th at midnight. If you want a catalog, just email me at nicole@thejoyfulstamper.com. And you can also go to my site, thejoyfulstamper.com, if you have any questions. Make sure by Monday, January 6th at midnight. And sure to come back tonight at 8 and we'll do a catalog walkthrough together. Thanks. Bye.